Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Oh, yes, indeed. We are back again. And I don't think yesterday I took the time to introduce myself. Just in case you are a brand new listener to Student of the Gun Radio, I am Paul Markle. I am your host. I am the benevolent pimp hand of America because this country needs a slap. Joining me in the studios high atop the mountain in Saratoga, Wyoming, is Zachary. And he's the shipping ogre, and he is the studio engineer, and he's looking at me, and he's waiting to say hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Good. Glad to hear it.
And live via satellite in the Salt Lake City studio is Jarrad.
I'm Jarrad, and I'm here to talk to you today.
There you go.
Yeah, today I'm going to be addressing powerlifting versus bodybuilding, and I'm going to probably want your thoughts on this. So,
ooh, there you go. All right. You know what? I had a really good day on Saturday. I hit all my lifts. I met all my goals, everything that my coach told me to do. I did it all. I got it all done. And I didn't feel like I was going to pass out at the end. So sometimes you get to the top, when you're just lifting something heavy and you pull it and you get all the way to the top and you feel like the world's closing in on you.
Yeah. My last deadlift, the last heavy deadlift, it was on Friday of last week. I reached the point where I get to put 5 plates on each side. Mm-hmm. And doing that, it was like a mental barrier for me because I looked at the bar and it took me, I don't know, probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes to actually make myself start the first rep. Mm-hmm. Because obviously I trim out the video for our coaches on Starting Strength Online Coaching. Yeah. But if he would have got the untrimmed video, he would have saw about 2 minutes of me telling myself like, hey, once you start,
yourself up.
Yeah, because like once you start, you've committed to finishing all 5. But if you don't start, then you don't have to lift it again.
I know I've done that with the squats when I know it's going to be a heavy squat. I start the video and I'll go over there and I'll put my hands on it. And I'll set my hands and I'll kind of just like stare at the bar and breathe in and breathe out. Okay, you got to get underneath this thing.
Yeah, I got to put some new music on my little iPod thing.
It's going to be heavy. I know it's going to be heavy.
And I spot Professor Paul whenever he does the bench. Usually, sometimes I'm not around. But when he does, what he'll do is he'll lay there, and he'll grab the bar. I'll go, whew, and I'll be like, okay, he wants to lift it. And then he won't do anything. And then he'll just prep himself some more. Whew. I'm like, okay, let's go. And then he does it like 4 times. I'm like, come on. I'm just waiting to help him lift the bar.
I'm doing it. I'm psyching myself up to do it right, man. I'm doing it, and I've been very deliberately doing my warm-ups. I want you guys to know that.
Yeah, so. It's a real thing, man. If you don't start with the right mentality, then you probably won't finish the set.
Mm-hmm. Once you get to a certain point, it's not like exercise where you can do it because you just know. Because when you're doing linear progression, and we probably should be saving this because we're doing the show right now. Yeah. But when you're doing linear progression, you're constantly doing something you've never done before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of linear progression, we're giving away a bump stock.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that have linear progression, you ask?
Yeah, the Fostech Defend AR, inertia fire, slide fire, bump fire, whatever you want to call it. It's an aluminum gun part, and it is actually wrapped in bubble wrap in a box, waiting to be shipped out to one of you freaks.
That's right.
That's
Real bubble wrap.
Real bubble wrap. So all you have to do to be eligible is go to SOTGgiveaway.com and make sure you use an email that you check, because if you fail to check your email, you may lose. So there you go. All right. Well, but we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to jump across the pond. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do our Fighting Fitness theme song. Physically fit, woman, nice, quick, fantastic, bring your body out in the big
Titanic, woman in ice, sweet, energetic, victory for the ocean is a big Titanic, woman in ice, sweet, fantastic, victory for the ocean is a big Titanic, woman in ice, sweet, fantastic, victory for the ocean is a big Titanic, woman. I like to move it, move it, I like to move it, move it, I like to move it, move it, yeah, I like to.
I look forward to Wednesdays just so I can listen to that song.
And remember, Fighting Fitness is brought to you by our good friends at SWAT Fuel. And if you want to save some cash on your next SWAT Fuel purchase, what you do is you go to SWATfuelstore.com and use the promo code SOTG2015. SWAT Fuel wants you to have a sharper mind and a stronger body, both of those, for the new year. So check it out. All right, Jarrad, lay it on us. What are we talking about this
All right,
week?
we are talking about powerlifting versus bodybuilding. And I have a little bit of a different take than many people, apparently, because I'm in several online forums full of powerlifters and then several that are full of bodybuilders. And some of them have a mixed community. But what I see most of the time is that powerlifters and bodybuilders just cannot get along with each other. And I just don't understand it. So real quick, I want to take the time to define these. Powerlifting, what is powerlifting? Powerlifting is something you do and you're the lifter, their whole goal is power. Obviously, it's called powerlifting. So you want to be, yes, you want to be able to lift the most weight, right?
Yeah.
Produce the most power. And bodybuilding, your goal is to look good and you want to be on stage and have big muscles and look good. And my take on this whole powerlifting versus bodybuilding debacle, I guess you could call it, is that both of these things take time, dedication, and effort. And so why can't we all just get along?
I know they're in the immortal words of Rodney King. Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Well, all right, but people are like, yeah, everybody, it's all weights. It's all lifting heavy stuff. It's all the same.
Yeah, bodybuilding, you focus more on isolation exercises. I'm not a bodybuilder.
Aesthetics.
Yeah, that's not my goal. I don't want to have big muscles that aren't strong. If that's your goal, that's cool. I don't care. Do what you want to do. My goal is to be able to lift the most weight because if something happens to myself or one of my loved ones, I want to be able to pick them up and carry them. So
you just want to be strong.
Yeah,
man.
that is my goal. I want to be strong. If your goal is to have big muscles and look good, then that's cool too. But why can't we just get along? Why can't we coexist in the same community?
Well, they kind of do in now. If you guys have ever watched Olympic weightlifting, it's funny is if you want to know the difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding, go to the internet and type in Olympic 1980, deadlift champion or whatever, U.S. Olympic. You watch the Olympians, and they look like big guys. They look like they have beer guts. Most of them do.
Yeah.
Most like Alexei. What was Alexei's last name? Like the strongest Russian human to ever live. He was taking all kinds of gold medals and what have you. Back in the 70s and 80s, I remember growing up seeing. If you guys ever watched the ABCs or NBCs, I think it was ABC's Wide World of Sports, and they did the beginning, the agony of defeat, and the glory of victory and the agony of defeat. There was a picture of that guy, and he was a monster, but he didn't look like Schwarzenegger. He didn't look like he was going to go out on stage and pose.
Yeah.
He looked like just a big Alexei. I think it's Sorokin. I'm working the internet machine here. Nope, that's not him. There's too many Alexeis in Russia. But anyway, you watch the guys that go to the Olympics and lift just retarded amounts of heavy weight over their heads and so forth. And then you look at the guys that are standing up on stage, oiled down, suntan, spray on tan or tanning bed, and they're oiled down, and you're like, those guys don't look the same. And which guy is actually stronger? Well, the dirty little secret is that the big beer gut guys actually can move more weight. And I know that there's the Schwarzenegger fans are going to like riot and come with pitchforks and torches and stuff. But
he's Schwarzenegger is a bad example because his genetics are just insane.
Yeah, he has got super good genetics and so forth. But well, what about Jarrad? You haven't talked about CrossFit.
I don't know what that is.
So your question, your today's fighting fitness to you is just like you're just throwing that out there. You're like,
yeah, I wanted to educate the people that there is a difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding, and then also it depends on your goal. You have a goal for powerlifting, you have a goal for bodybuilding. Both of them take time, dedication, and effort. And I mean, I'm in both communities. When people post stuff about, this powerlifter eating this food or this bodybuilder, they have this big muscle, but it's not. I'm like, I don't even care. Go, instead of spending that time typing that thing out, go to the gym and work on your goal. But whether you're a powerlifter, a bodybuilder, a CrossFitter, a fighter, or whatever, SWAT Fuel is for you. Go to SWATfuelstore.com. I recommend starting with the 40 cal as a baseline. And then if you want some energy packed in there, get the 9mm plus P as well. And when you check out, you can save some money. Use a promo code SOTG2015. So that's SWATfuelstore.com. Use a promo code SOTG2015.
There you go. Jarrad, do you want to give them the starting strength? All right, if you just want to be a stronger human, you say, well, I don't know about all this powerlifting and bodybuilding and CrossFitting and stuff. I just want to be able to pick up the couch and put it on the truck when I need to, or I would be able to carry the trash to the curb without getting winded and having to stop and take a break. Our friends you want to give them the starting strength promo code? Yeah.
And even if you're not interested in that, you're just starting out on your journey and you want to learn more, there's plenty of free resources there. Just go to studentofthegun.com/SSOC. And if you do decide that that's something for you and you want to be a stronger human being, and then use the promo code SOTG when you check out, and that'll save you $79.
There you go. All right, Crossbreed holsters, not CrossFit holsters, Crossbreed holsters. They help you to what's the 3 C's that we laid down yesterday, Zach?
Constant, comfortable, and concealed.
That's right. If you want to be constantly, comfortably, and concealed, go to Crossbreed holsters. That's too many C's. That C's, it sounds like K's. Oh, I don't know what to do. But, yeah, go to CrossbreedHolsters.com. They can help you out. I'm wearing the Super Tuck Deluxe, the most comfortable inside of the waistband holster and highest quality that you're going to put your mitts on. But you can do whatever you want. Froglube, green, minty fresh. It is a bio-based firearms lubricant. And it is extreme. We don't get too much extreme here lately because Jarrad hates it when I go up into the red. But it is extreme. And it's a veteran-owned company, a U.S. veteran-owned company. So you might want to think about supporting those guys. Century Arms, the Swedish milling arms maker in the U.S. of A. Yes, indeed. Makers of the 100% made in the USA RAS-47, C-39V2, pistols, rifles, handguns, you name it. Check them out at centuryarms.com. And, well, if you want to have an attractive gun, if you want to have a unique gun, if you want to have a gun that's not ugly, check out our friends at Lauer, L-A-U-E-R, weaponry.com, LauerWeaponry.com. DuraCoat, because why? Because life is too short to have an ugly gun.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
I am going to be talking about my AR-15 pistol build. We've been talking about this for a while now, and I did different pieces and parts. And what I did, and what many of you will do, is you'll see an ad. You'll get an email from an online parts distributor, such as Palmetto State Armory or PSA, and they have really crazy hot deals on completed uppers and so forth. But the catch and the caveat is what? doesn't have a bolt carrier group. It says, you'll see one. It's like crazy prices, like $169 for a completed upper. And you're like, what? That's crazy. And then it says no BCG, no charging handle. Now the charging handle is pretty simple. Charging handles are a dime a dozen. I got boxes of charging handles. Bolt carrier groups, I don't just have boxes of bolt carrier groups laying around. So when I ordered my last pistol receiver, my upper receiver from PSA, it was one of those. It was a 10.5 inch, but it had no bolt carrier group. And because I am an enlightened individual and I know where to look, I went to the Brownells catalog, and Brownells makes their own. Now, a lot of you guys you realize that Brownells stocks parts and components and so forth that other manufacturers make. They put them on the shelf, sell them to you. But did you know that Brownells actually has their own line of products that they manufacture themselves? And they've been doing this for quite a number of years now. And I just think a lot of people are not aware of it. But the fact of the matter is Brownells does have mil-spec, M16 mil-spec bolt carrier groups in stock available. This is a complete bolt carrier group. It's the bolt, the firing pin, the carrier, the cam pin, retaining pin, all that stuff. They even stake down the gas key. Yes, indeed. They stake down the gas key. And you can get them in phosphate or nitride coated. You can get them in 556 or 300 AAC blackout. But I wanted to make sure and these are, like I said, when we talked about the Echo trigger, the Echo 2 trigger, we talked about the fact that there are a lot of different bolt carriers now. The manufacturers, they shave them down. They do these lightweight carriers. They do all kinds of crazy stuff to bolt carrier groups. But this one is a stock traditional full size. So if you're looking for something like an add-on to your Echo 2 trigger, this is the bolt carrier you want. I just want to make sure you guys were aware of that. And as the week progresses, we're going to talk about, a little bit different this and different that. I put a video up online specifically detailing all of the parts and components and so forth that I use for my recent AR-15 pistol build. So if you guys want to check that out, you can go to Facebook/Student of the Gun and you can watch that. So it's kind of just a quick down and dirty bullet points this week, but I wanted to make sure that everybody out there in the audience was aware that Brownells doesn't just sell other people's stuff. They actually manufacture their own line of products as well. All right, I'm excited because I haven't been able to use this in a while, and it's just how I am. So perk up your ears, freaks.
Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, that's all I wanna do. Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, let me feel for you. Chaka Khan, what you tell me what you wanna do? Do you feel for me the way I feel for you? Chaka Khan, let me tell you what I wanna do. I wanna love you, wanna hug you, wanna squeeze you too. Let me take it in my arm, let me feel you with my charm, Chaka Khan.
You guys know if you are Zach is over there. I was putting the show notes together earlier and I was listening to that, and Zach walked in and he's like, "What are you listening to? You telling me that since you've been in here in the studio with us that we've not done a SOTG update theme?"
No, we have not.
Oh,
it's been forever, apparently.
Oh, the Hodge mayor of London. The Hodge mayor of London. London is so far down the toilet that they decided it would be fun to put a Hodge in charge. Now, one of the SOTG, one of Sadiq Khan's most famous quotes was, after an incident of terrorism of, his brothers, his Muslim brothers are just slaughtering people all over the countryside. And he said, well, if you live in a big city, that's just part and parcel of life in a big city. You're just going to have terrorism. Nothing we can do about it. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it when the people committing the acts of terrorism are your bros. But whatever. So we got a story from Breitbart. Sadiq Khan bringing gender-neutral toilets to London to, quote, reflect the incredible diversity of the city. What a piece of human filth. London's liberal left mayor is issuing detailed guidance to developers calling for gender-neutral toilets to reflect the incredible diversity of England's capital. Labour politician Sadiq Khan declared that he vowed to be the mayor for all Londoners. So, what? So he's not the mayor of all Londoners if you have men's and women's rooms? So if you have a men's room and a women's room, then somehow people are excluded from that? Hey, Jarrad, when little babies are born in the world and they come into this world, what sex are they? There's two choices.
Well, girls have a penis and boys have a vagina.
No, it's the opposite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not right?
Yeah. So there's grand total of two sexes. There's male and female. That's how God made you. That's how God made all animals on planet Earth, right? But according to Sadiq Khan, if we don't have gender-neutral bathrooms, I guess they're masculine, feminine, and neutral, he, she, it, that's what I guess some of the Londoners that Sadiq Khan is reaching out to are not he's or she's, they're its. Is that what he's reaching out to?
Do you know?
Is he reaching out to the it crowd?
Did you know that gender-neutral bathrooms have existed for decades? You know what they're called?
It's called a single stall.
It's called a family restroom.
Well, it's called a single stall restroom, okay? You open the door, you walk inside. There's one toilet, one sink, one garbage can. Get out. That's it. That's it. But that was before the current culture of psychotic lunacy. He's determined to ensure that everyone has the ability to enjoy our great city to its fullest. What? How does that even apply? The former lawyer, who is known for in the U.S. for representing anti-white, anti-Semitic Nation of Islam founder Louis Farrakhan, was accused of courting Islamists during his election campaign, indicating that he sees toilets as a very important battleground for social justice.
Did you see the did you see the poster that where under intersections? You know how we used to have LGBT, then we had LGBTQ.
Oh,
now we have LGBTQ2SPIA plus.
Yeah.
Or is that a division?
They've lost their ever-loving minds. They're gone.
Are you thinking about a different one? Because the one I saw one that was like LGBTQQQLB.
No, this is actually in the story. It has a picture.
I'm gonna look
like
it up.
letting you know exactly. You know, don't be big. Don't be a bigot.
Click the link in the notes. It's there.
Be diverse.
Yeah.
So we got Sadiq Khan over in London, who has told the people of London that they just need to get used to terrorism because that's part of living in a big city. I mean, this is just what you're going to have, you know? And you know what? Londoners, if any of you are listening, you so deserve everything you get. You're so weak. And we have, Jarrad, should we go on? Should we provide the audience more proof of the intergalactic stupidity and weakness?
Sure.
That is the people of the United Kingdom. Should we do that? I think Johnny Rotten can help us. Thank you, Johnny Rotten and the Sex Pistols, for the UK update theme. We got a story here from thesun.com. Oh, it is thesun.co.uk/news. And the story is from 28 November. The title, Cops Stunned. Okay, all caps. They're in shock. The coppers in merry old England are stunned. They are in shock. Jared, I don't even know if they're out of shock yet. They still could be in shock. We might want to check into that. We might want to get them some counseling. Deadly 5-foot Star Trek blade handed into police as part of a weapons amnesty. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, pictures say so much. So, a deadly, according to Dan Sales, correspondent for the sun.co.uk, a deadly war sword from Star Trek is among weapons handed into police in a weapons amnesty program. The 5-foot Klingon Botleth, I think that's how you pronounce it. Jared, is that how a Klingon would pronounce it? Zach, you know. Would a Klingon pronounce it? Botleth.
I believe it is a Botleth, yes.
Botleth has 4 blades, 2 spikes, and 3 handholds, so it can be spun at high speeds.
High capacity spinning.
We have a photograph. Inspector Phil Braben holds up the Klingon war sword, and I don't know how he didn't pass out of fright from holding to the Botleth. Oh, sweet Buddha. In the sci-fi franchise, the fearsome aliens have used it in a battle with Captain Picard, played by Sir Patrick Stewart. Oh, dude, Star Trek, Trekkie geeks are all over this. There's one in here that says, there's one of the first comments says, Picard never battled a Klingon using one of the Trekkies. But this one was discovered far from the bridge of the Enterprise in a police station on the Channel Islands. Yes, that's right. Chief Inspector Phil Braben of Guernsey Police said, we have a significant number of weapons. We have had a significant number of weapons handed in, including knives, swords, daggers. I don't know if any dirks were turned in. They had daggers, but I don't know if they had any dirks. We'll have to check into that. BB guns and even a crossbow. So you can see the pictures of this deadly Klingon war sword. I mean, I'm kind of scared. And there's pictures of a crossbow and stuff. And then, of course, they had to put in the obligatory Worf picture right here. And Worf is holding a Botleth. But the one he's holding doesn't look anything like the one that the Chief Inspector Phil Braben is holding there. But all I can say is thank the Lord that that's off the street. Because I don't think I could survive if I knew that the Klingon Botleth was on the street. Because that's where we find guns and weapons and knives and stuff. Is you find them on the street. Oh my Lord. Moving on. And you say, but Paul, that's so what? So somebody was afraid to have this Klingon war sword in their home, and they surrendered it to the police. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. We got a follow-up story here. It says the UK's gun surrender event turned up more than just firearms. This is a story by Erica Haas from the bearingarms.com, November 30th. And the United Kingdom's this was a national gun surrender event. Do you like how they use the term surrender? How they put that in there? What do losers do? What do the losers do? They surrender. Hey, are my sons with me?
I'm here. I was just looking.
Okay.
I was trying to find the LGBTQQIA.
Are you still on that?
Well, I couldn't find the picture in our notes, and so I was trying to find the news story. But
It's there.
The news story is in the notes. It's
The news story's there.
I know. I looked in the news story. I looked in the news story for the thing.
Breitbart.com.
Breitbart.
Zach.
Whatever.
The files are inside of the computer.
I looked inside the computer, and I could not find them inside the computer.
Oh, the files are inside of the computer. I get it. The United Kingdom's National Gun Surrender event. What's funny is they have a picture here, and it shows the giant, the Ferris wheel in London. And when they say the National Gun Surrender event, I wonder if there was like cotton candy, and if they had a little parade, and they had carnival games and stuff. It's officially over. And the results of each county are slowly starting to trickle in. During a 2-week-long weapon amnesty project, which ran from November 13th to the 26th, the North Yorkshire Police collected 228 weapons, some of which are loosely defined as weapon. But here is a breakdown. So the police encouraged the peasants, the tax slaves, to search their homes, search high and low for dangerous implements, which they might someday pick up and just use to kill themselves or someone else. So here's what was turned in. 3 handguns, 51 shotguns. And these aren't spas or Bonellis or anything. These are like single and double shot shotguns. So this would be the equivalent of you going into your closet and pulling out an Harrington and Richardson or a New England Firearms single shot 20 gauge and surrendering it to the police. Here we go. 74 replica, imitation, or air pistols. So toys, essentially. 34 air rifles. 4 actual rifles. A replica Thompson machine gun, not an actual working one, but a replica. A replica AK-47. This one is kind of scary, and I'm glad they got these off the street. 2 shotguns disguised as walking sticks. 1 antique firearm. It doesn't say what it was, just it is an antique. 1 gun used in connection with animal slaughter. One of those slaughterhouse knock them in the head things. Other non-firearm weapons that were surrendered to the police. 8 ornamental swords. 46 knives, including household knives, hunting knives, and ceremonial daggers. 1 crossbow. 1 bayonet. And it says other items that were surrendered include 4 flares and a fork. Yes?
Wait, like an eating fork.
Yes. And it says in the story, it says, yes, you read that right. Someone handed in an eating utensil.
I want to hope that person was being a smart aleck. This fork is very pointy. I want you to take it out of my house.
Get this out of my house. I have small children here. I cannot have these forks in my house. Yes, you read that right. Someone actually handed in. So forks, flares, crossbows, bayonets, swords, and knives, none of which are actually illegal in the UK or require a permit. The North Yorkshire Police saw 172 firearms brought in, but if you take out the replicas and the air guns, there was actually only 80 genuine working guns that were turned in, and we don't even know if they were functional. They're just actual guns. They were born
you know what?
guns.
That's
I don't
a
know
step
what they
in
identify as.
That's a step in the right direction. We got 80 guns off the street.
Off the street, yes. The results suddenly seem less impressive. Of course, the North Yorkshire Police Sergeant Dave France still considers the event a success. Do you want to hear a quote from this from this Bobby. We are really pleased with the response we've had to this year's surrender. Apparently, the surrender is this like the Purge. They have it every year. They do an annual surrender drive just to keep people in the right frame of mind.
Maybe they need to have an annual purge.
Oh, here we go. We're really pleased with the response we've had to this year's surrender, France said. According to the official North Yorkshire Police website, we've had 30% more firearms handed in this time around compared to our last surrender. Oh, the last surrender was in 2014. And that doesn't include the non-firearms that were surrendered. Every weapon has the potential to fall into the wrong hands and have a devastating impact, especially those forks and replica AK-47s and replica guns, even those that are overlooked and forgotten in people's homes. So it's reassuring to know that 200, this guy's not quitting. He's counting the forks and flares. They're not going to not count anything. They're counting the ceremonial, ornamental, those things that you buy for, $15 in the Chinese import store, that are made out of like pot metal aluminum and you hang on your wall because they look pretty. He's counting all that. He's counting the flares, crossbows, kitchen knives. Yeah. Household kitchen knives. It's a good thing. The non-firing replica guns. So it's reassuring to know that 231 weapons are now off the street. Oh man. Yeah, so it says accordingly, it says France is now including the fork and 2 of these flares in his in his count. So in addition to the 228 real, pretend, and replica guns, he's counting the fork and the flares as part of the weapons that are now off the street. That's right. Jarrad, he's not even done.
Yeah, I can't do this anymore.
He continues. Just one weapon off the streets is one less that can be used to harm or threaten our communities.
Holy crap.
And has the potential to save a life.
See, I had a point. Jeez. This.
You're so weak. How do they walk and breathe at the same time? That's what I want to know. How do these... All right. But here's the thing. Unless somebody was... Like Zach said, he said, unless they were just like screwing with them, then like turning in a fork, how weak, how much of a slave do you have to be to root through your house and go down to the police station and give them your kitchen knives and your fork?
What I'm thinking is, since he turned in one fork, I'm guessing he was screwing with
Well,
him.
you don't know. It might have been the person that turned in a fork might have turned in like some kitchen knives and a flare and
but why just
a
one
replica
fork?
pistol.
Why one single
Maybe
fork?
that was the only fork they had. Maybe they now only use spoons in their homes.
Stupid.
But if you sharpen a spoon, it can be a deadly instrument.
If you sharpen a toothpick, not toothpick, a chopstick, it could be a deadly weapon.
John Dixon
an unsharpened chopstick could be a...
chopsticks, that's right. John Dixon that's racist, has gone on record that he would take hostages with a butter knife. So that might be something that we want to do next. We might want to do butter knife amnesty. No, but I'm being serious. Do you guys realize the level of weakness that you have to sink to, the level of slavish servitude that you have to sink to think that it is your duty as a citizen to go through your house and surrender anything with like a point or an edge on it and take it out of your home and go surrender it to your masters. The level of slavishness is it's mind-boggling.
We kind of saw something like that in Pennsylvania. I know it was guns, but people were still lining up. Yeah. I mean,
you mean Connecticut?
Yeah, Connecticut. Sorry, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania people got all PO'd there for a second. Yeah. Pennsylvania people were like, we're not that weak. We just in Philadelphia, we let our city councilman, take down the bulletproof glass because it offends the dignity of their criminal constituents.
Yeah. To be fair, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. The fact that she's endorsing that in public is pretty crazy.
Well, that might have been what they needed to make sure that she doesn't get reelected.
No, she's serious. There are people, her constituents think that's a good idea. Her voting bloc, the criminal voting bloc that keeps her in office, they think that's a good idea. And what's even crazier, going back to that story from Philadelphia, is that the people are like, what is that they're actually the Korean grocers are like, they're going out like, okay, so if the city says that they're going to comply. I got an idea. You're behind bulletproof glass. Don't comply. What do you have to be afraid of? Don't comply. They're like, no, but if they don't comply, then they'll send the Philadelphia PD in there with their guns, and what are they going to do? Shoot the Korean grocers? If they didn't take the bulletproof glass down, they'll be safe. I'm just saying. Fear not, you won't be seeing bulletproof glass in England because it's offensive to those who would kill you. So what do we know about merry old England? We know that the people are so weak that they can't be trusted with sharp objects or pointy objects, and they need to surrender them. They have a National Surrender Day. Don't you love that? Just the mentality behind the National Surrender Day. And nobody calls that out and says, what?
If they do, they're ignorant, and they want people to be murdered in the streets.
That's right. You want people to die.
You want children to be stabbed to death.
That's right. You want that to fall into the wrong hands on the street. But didn't he say that these items that it may have been forgotten laying around your home? Now, if these items are in people's homes, how are they on the street? They're either in someone's house or they're on the street. They can't be both. They're two geographically separate locations.
You just want widespread dining utensils.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go through my house and get rid of all my sharp forks. But don't worry, you'll be able to, according to SOTG, you can go to London, and as long as you don't have any sharp, pointy objects on you or a 5-foot Klingon war sword, you can use any bathroom you want. So there you go. All right, tomorrow on Student of the Gun Radio, did you guys see this bologna sausage, this flap that cropped up? Speaking of England, geez Louise, it's like England week. About Accuracy International. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Accuracy International, the recent story that had them in the news, and lessons learned. And, of course, in addition to that, we will also have a Student of the Gun homeroom brought to you by our friends at Crossbreed Holsters. Until then, remember, you are a beginner once, a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.